Picture this. You're 65 years old. You're flat broke. Your business just went entirely under because the government decided to build a new interstate highway that completely bypassed your small town. You're sitting there, staring at your first Social Security check for exactly $105, thinking your life is basically over. But from that single moment of ultimate failure, a global titan was born. Today, Kentucky Fried Chicken is a massive, multi-billion-dollar juggernaut. It boasts over 29,000 locations across 145 countries. It survived economic crashes, fierce fast food franchise wars, and massive corporate buyouts to become the undisputed king of fried chicken. But how did it actually happen? How did a high school dropout who failed at almost everything he tried build a brand that outlasts generations? What is the actual business blueprint behind the bucket?
In this complete, definitive case study, we are tearing down the walls of KFC. We're going to look at the exact strategies, the brutal failures, the genius marketing pivots, and the unparalleled franchising model that turned a roadside motel into a global empire. By the end of this video, you'll have the exact blueprint to understand how titans are built. If you're serious about business, growth, and the hard truth behind success, you are in the right place. Settle in. Let's dive deep into the extraordinary legacy of Colonel Harland Sanders. To understand the KFC blueprint, you have to understand the man who drew it. Harland Sanders wasn't born with a silver spoon. He was born in 1890 in Indiana. By age 6, his father passed away, leaving him to cook for his younger siblings while his mother worked. Before he ever thought about a global chicken empire, Sanders was a professional failure. He dropped out of school in the 7th grade. He was a farmhand, a streetcar conductor, an insurance salesman, fired for insubordination, a steamboat operator, a tire salesman. He even practiced law in Arkansas until a courtroom brawl with his own client ruined his legal career. Director's note: spend the next 20 minutes of your video deep diving into the American economy during the early 1900s and the Great Depression, explaining how difficult it was for a working-class man to survive. It wasn't until 1930, at the age of 40, that he finally caught a break. He took over a Shell gas station in Corbin, Kentucky. Travelers were hungry. He started serving meals from his own living quarters. No menu, just what he cooked for his family: pan-fried chicken, country ham, and fresh biscuits. He called it Sanders Court and Cafe. This was the incubator, the testing ground. Every great company needs a moat, a unique selling proposition. For Sanders, it was two things: speed and taste. Let's talk about the taste first. The legendary original recipe, 11 herbs and spices. Sanders spent years perfecting this blend. It became his intellectual property. It was so highly guarded that today the recipe sits in a physical vault in Louisville, Kentucky, surrounded by motion detectors and cameras. But taste wasn't enough. Pan-frying chicken took 35 minutes. In the restaurant business, a 35-minute wait time is a death sentence for table turnover. Deep frying was faster, but it ruined the quality, leaving the chicken dry and greasy. Here is where the first real business breakthrough happened: technological adaptation. In 1939, the first commercial pressure cookers hit the market, designed strictly for canning vegetables. Sanders bought one, modified it, and started pressure frying chicken. The result? Perfectly cooked, moist chicken with a crispy crust in just 9 minutes. He solved the operational bottleneck. He had the product. He had the process. Business was booming. The governor of Kentucky even awarded him the honorary title of colonel for his contribution to the state's cuisine. He was on top of the world. And then, disaster struck. Business is never a straight line up. In the early 1950s, a new interstate highway, I-75, was planned. It bypassed Corbin entirely. Practically overnight, the traffic dried up. Sanders was forced to sell his property at an auction, taking a massive loss just to pay off his debts.
He was 65. He was broke. He had nothing but his Social Security check of $105 a month. Most people would quit. Most people would retire. But Sanders looked at his assets. He didn't have real estate anymore. He didn't have a restaurant. What did he have? He had intellectual property. He had the recipe, and he had the pressure frying method. This leads us to the most crucial pivot in business history, the franchise model. Sanders loaded up his car with pressure cookers and bags of his secret seasoning. He drove across the country, sleeping in his back seat to save money. He would walk into a restaurant, offer to cook his chicken for the owner, and if they liked it, he pitched a deal. The deal was simple but brilliant. He wasn't asking for an upfront fee. He asked for 4 cents for every chicken sold. It was a handshake agreement. This is the ultimate lesson in scaling. By franchising, Sanders was using other people's money, other people's real estate, and other people's labor to scale his intellectual property. One of his first takers was Pete Harmon in Salt Lake City, Utah. Harmon was a marketing genius. He coined the name Kentucky Fried Chicken. He invented the iconic bucket meal. Harmon's sales tripled in the first year, with 75% of the increase coming purely from the fried chicken. When other restaurant owners saw Harmon's numbers, the floodgates opened. Sanders was rejected over 1,000 times on the road, but by 1964, he had over 600 franchised outlets. The empire grew too fast for a man in his 70s to handle. In 1964, Sanders sold the company to a group of investors led by John Y. Brown Jr. and Jack Massey for $2 million, which would be about $20 million today. He also retained a lifetime salary to be the brand's quality controller and global ambassador. The new owners corporatized the brand. They standardized the look with the iconic red and white stripes. They took the company public in 1966. From there, the acquisitions began. Hublin bought it, then R.J. Reynolds. Finally, PepsiCo acquired KFC in 1986, which eventually spun off into Yum Brands, the conglomerate that now owns KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. But the true genius of KFC's modern era is international localization. Let's look at China. KFC didn't just copy and paste its American menu globally. They adapted. In Asia, they introduced rice bowls. They offered flavors that catered entirely to the local palate, while keeping the core original recipe branding intact. Today, KFC makes more money in China than it does in the United States. That is the power of a globally adaptable blueprint. So, what is the secret sauce? What is the actual blueprint we can extract from this massive corporate history to use in our own ventures? Here are the 4 pillars of the KFC empire. Number 1, unbreakable intellectual property. Whether it's an algorithm, a media brand, or 11 herbs and spices, you need a unique selling proposition that cannot be easily replicated by competitors. Number 2, the pivot from operations to licensing. Sanders failed when he was managing real estate and roadside restaurants. He succeeded when he became an IP licensor. If you want infinite scale, you have to separate your product from your physical labor. Number 3, brand personification. Colonel Sanders literally became the logo. He wore the white suit every single day in public. People connect with humans, not corporations. Putting a recognizable face and a human touch to the brand builds deep psychological trust with the consumer. Number 4, relentless persistence. Age is a myth. Sanders hit rock bottom at 65. He was rejected over 1,000 times. The difference between a failed gas station owner and a billionaire brand is simply refusing to stop driving. Success doesn't care how old you are, where you come from, or how many times you've lost. Colonel Sanders proved that the blueprint to an empire can be drawn on the back of a napkin at the lowest point in your life. It just requires a solid product, a scalable model, and the grit to handle the word no 1,000 times over. If you got value out of this deep dive, if this case study gave you a new perspective on how massive businesses are built from the ground up, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right now. We put an incredible amount of research into breaking down these business blueprints, and subscribing ensures you won't miss the next massive case study we drop. Drop a comment down below. What business empire do you want us to tear down and analyze next? Keep building, keep grinding, and I'll see you in the next video.